Uh, Good evening, friends. Once again, like today's session is on emotional wisdom. The topic is around the family in which a senior citizen is there. So today's session will provide a platform for us to analyze the information, whatever we have got till now regarding the senior citizens one. And the second thing will be like we'll also have some tips and tricks so that we can enhance our relationship and the methods and the ways in how we handle the senior citizens. So some of the some of the parts of the session will be very interactive where we need you to unmute the mic and give some answers. So here we go. Okay, the first question is, it's not a question, it's a statement. Most seniors are unhappy most of the time. What do you think? You got three options. You can say yes or no or maybe. So is it a myth or a truth? இது உண்மையா? Most seniors are unhappy most of the time. So any takers, you can use the chat box or you can use the mic. Yes, we got an answer. Yes, let's see what the answer is. Suresh says truth. So let us see what the society says and what the answer is. It is a myth, which means it is what we have heard from few people. It is not with the majority. The answer is very simple. Research shows that many seniors report high levels of life satisfaction than younger adults. So why is this? It is very simple. When we met few seniors and asked them pertaining this question, the answer was no, it is a myth. Because by the time you become a senior, you would have seen the ups and downs in life, and definitely the attitude have changed. So since most of us, we have not gone into that age group, we think it is a myth. The second situation, feeling lonely. Feeling lonely can be as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Is it true or false? Any answers? Feeling lonely can be as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. We got three answers. Yes, due to loneliness. Tarni says maybe. Sumati says not exactly. Okay. Suresh says no. Let us see what the answer is. It is a fact. It is true. It is true. So feeling lonely is equal to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Why? The reason is loneliness is linked to serious health risks, including heart disease and depression. So loneliness leads to serious health risks, including heart disease and depression. So you know what has to be done. So if you have a senior around your house, please be with them so that they are engaged and they don't have this feeling of loneliness. Okay. Third part, all memory loss in seniors means they have Alzheimer disease. Alzheimer disease is a disease which, when we name the memory loss as Alzheimer disease. So here, please understand the question. Uh, all memory loss in seniors means they have Alzheimer disease. First, I'll come back to you for the question you have put. All memory loss in seniors means they have Alzheimer disease. Not exactly. Suresh, you're making it very safe. Most of your answers are saying not exactly. Okay. The right answer is it's a myth because mild forgetfulness can be a norm. Okay. Can be a norm when you start aging. It is part of the aging process. Alzheimer disease is when you have excess of forgetfulness. You forget to take your food, you forget your name sometimes, So those kind of situations leads to Alzheimer's disease. Oh, that is when you term this forgetfulness when the proportionately the number of incidents which happens in a day increases. That is when you call it as Alzheimer's disease. Wasn't you asked depression is yes, but why heart disease? Like when you are in a depressed mood, your heartbeat starts increasing or decreasing depending on the metabolism of your body. So what do you call that is one. Second thing, your allied disease like blood pressure, sugar, all those things starts playing an influence on you. So in case you are having a depression, then these things starts getting fueled up by the depression. So some of your organs don't start segregating the required amount of enzymes to keep you in the happy mood. Like once you're happy, when you're with people, your oxytocin, all those kind of enzymes starts keeping your body in a balance. So you don't have exactly the heart problems. So when we say heart disease, it doesn't mean heart attack. It can be anything related to the heart. The pumping becomes faster, the BP starts coming up. Sometimes, like what happens is you feel dizziness. So all those things start coming up. Okay, I don't know where the disturbance is coming from. I switched off my fan also. Okay. Is this sound still coming, Suresh?
Yes, sir. Sometimes it is coming. I don't know.
Okay.
I will log out and log in once, sir.
Is it too much? Okay. Uh, Anybody having the same difficulty?
So please continue, sir. Maybe it may be from my side.
Okay. Thank you. Depression is a normal part of aging and doesn't need treatment. So we saw about the memory loss. A, sh- a small amount of memory loss is acceptable. Something similar here. Depression is a normal part of aging and doesn't need treatment. So the question goes same. Is it a myth or is it a fact? Okay. Okay, my voice is low. I'll increase my voice. So depression is not normal. So the answer is right. It is a myth. It is not a normal part of aging. Depression is common in seniors, but is not normal part of aging as and it is treatable. So depression is treatable. Most people think that depression is part of the senior ages where people tend to be like depressed and definitely it is not the thing. It can be treated. So normally in families we find people saying அவருக்கு என்னங்க வயசாயிடுச்சு அவருக்கு தனியா இருக்காரு டிப்ரெஷன் அப்பப்போ போவாருங்க அப்பப்போ அவரே பேசுவாருங்க. It is not a normal thing, definitely. So it is something which can be treatable. The simple treatments can be like what do you call mm, being engaged with them, spending time. So this can be some of the simple solutions. Is depression related to expectations? No. See, when expectations are there, if you have a conscious mind and when your expectations are not met, you can handle your depression. So depression doesn't come directly when expectations are not met. There is a cycle. When expectations are not met, one of your emotion is triggered. And if you handle those emotions, it can be sad, it can be anger, it can be frustration, a lot of things are there. So once when you're not able to handle this, and this happens over repeatedly over a period of time, and when you see like it happens repeatedly at least 3 or 4 times in a day, can continuously for almost 20 or 30 days, then this thing of depression starts coming in, right? uh, in younger ages, like say normally for a businessman, what happens when his goals and targets are not met? He goes in a depression, but he starts coming out. Probably for a day or two, he might be depressed, but he's able to bounce back. Here, with senior citizens, the chance of bouncing back becomes less because there are less number of people for him or her to interact with. So that becomes a challenge for the people. So that is what we need to focus on. Okay. Okay, next question goes like this. Grief over losing a spouse or close friend can last for months or even years. Is it true or is it a myth? Yes, and of course, all of us know the answer for this. It is definitely a truth. It's a fact. So, losing a close friend or a family member or your spouse can definitely uh, be something which will be with you for quite some time. The grieving process is deeply personal and varies greatly in duration. Some people who are not what do you call who are not emotional tend to come out of it much quickly. People are more emotional, tend to take some time. And if the departed one is a very close associate of them or a family member, then it takes much more longer time for them to come out. Okay, here is the next situation. Older adults are less likely to recover from emotional trauma than younger adults. Please understand the question. Older adults are less likely to recover from emotional trauma than younger adults. Okay. Yes, we got a chat. Somebody says yes, takes more time. I think you're right on target. Sumadi, Vasant, Suresh. Okay, Suresh, you say it is a myth. Let's see what the answer is. Yes, it is a myth. Many seniors show resilience and coping strength even after major emotional events. Remember our first, I think it's the first or the second slide, where you saw that seniors have more coping skills and strategies than the younger people. So it is a myth. Participating in hobbies and social activities can boost emotional health in seniors. I think you'll have the right answer. It is a fact because most of our programs at SAM 4075 is towards keeping the uh, adults engaged in the family. Okay, Sumati says yes for this answer. This is a fact, Sumati. Thank you. Staying active socially and mentally reduces feeling of isolation and depression. So if you look at all the questions, whatever we ask, it is all interlinked. Here it says isolation, depression, being lonely. So the question to what Vasant asked again is also answered in a different format over here. Okay, this is very important. Okay. The next part will be something like this. As people age, they naturally become more withdrawn and should be left alone. As people age, they naturally become more withdrawn than and should be left alone. Okay, is it a myth? No. Somebody says no. Vasant says false, not acceptable. Your bang, you started understanding how seniors are. Okay, Tarni, you're sending a direct message to me, Tarni. You need to send the message to the direct inbox. Yes. So let's find out what the answer is. Yes, it is a myth. Withdrawal can be a sign of emotional distress or depression and needs attention. So why do seniors withdraw? It can be for any of these reasons. It can be emotional distress, or they just like to be left alone for some time, or depressed and they need attention. So the answer is myth. And the last question, anxiety disorders can start for the first time in senior years. So which says anxiety disorder starts only when you are in the senior age. Is it true? Yes, it is a fact. So we have anxiety, but it doesn't become a disorder. Okay, anxiety disorders can start for the first time in senior years. Of course, right now with the younger generation also we have this anxiety disorders now, but the percentage is very less because of the food habit, because of the sleep patterns. Okay, because of the night shifts which people work, these anxiety disorders have started coming in with younger generation of people also. So major life changes like retirement or health issues can trigger anxiety later in life. So why does anxiety starts coming up? It comes because as you grow or when you move to the senior citizen age, you don't feel confident that you can handle certain things. But once you feel confident, this anxiety will go off. Anxiety is nothing but what will happen? What will happen if I do this? What will happen if this happens? Okay, we start thinking about lot of a number of possibilities which can happen, for which we don't have a control over things. So anxiety by itself is a separate session which we'd like to handle separately. Seeking therapy or counseling is pointless for older adults. Do you think it is seeking therapy? This says no, Thorny says myth, Suresh says myth. Yes, sometimes counseling is needed, and counseling can provide you a lot of opportunities to come out of certain things which the okay. So there is a point you can definitely go for therapy or counseling. Therapy can greatly benefit seniors, helping them work through loss, okay, change, and emotional struggles. See, sometimes people think they go for counseling or therapy, it is only for people who are mentally ill. No. The word counseling also applies to lot of situations. Say, for example, when a student passes the 12th, he goes for counseling. Counseling is nothing but a conversation where a lot of things are explored and you open up your thought process. The person sitting on the other end helps you to come out of a certain mindsets. Therapy, of course, is a scientific process. Okay, there are many methods of therapies. So therapy is nothing but giving a treatment without injecting or giving medicines. So you need to ensure that the seniors are taken to a therapy or a counseling for their betterment. It doesn't mean they are down. Okay, all of us go to gym. Okay, why do we go to gym? Or why do we do yoga? Why do we do meditation? Because we want to be better than what we are. We want to reduce weight. Probably we want to increase our strength, or probably we want to uh, calm our mind and start focusing on something which we are doing. So the end result can be anything. So therapy and counseling are various methods to enhance your living style and to make you more comfortable. So fine. I would like to just shift a few slides. We'll come back to this slide. I got something to do with emotions. Okay. See, on the left-hand side, I put in 5 emotions: sadness, pride, frustration, fear, and joy. Okay. On the right-hand side, we have got the green box over here, which will start moving away one by one and revealing different situations. These situations are the aging situations, right? Once you start reading that situation, you need to give an answer as to what emotion will this elderly person be experiencing. So this activity will help us to understand what emotion the person goes through in certain situations, right? Okay. The first situation, you can either use the chat box or you can use the uh, unmute the mic and talk and give your answer. Saying goodbye to a lifelong home and moving to a smaller apartment. What is the emotion felt by the person? Is it sadness? Is it pride? Is it frustration? Is it fear or is it joy? Simple, right? Simple situations. See, this program of emotional wisdom, uh, uh, I started preparing more than 3 months back. And by the time I completed, it ran into at least 10 hours of program. Okay. So we'll take it step by step. Okay, we got the answers as sadness and sadness. You're absolutely right. It is sadness. Okay, we'll just move on to the second one. Sharing life stories and experience with younger family members. Sharing life stories and experiences with younger family members. That is, you are sharing your experiences and achievements and challenges what you faced in your life with your younger ones. What does it mean? Of course, right? It is pride. It is sometimes it can be joy, but it's more of pride. You know what pride is all about? Pride is all about feeling great, pulling your collar up and saying, "See, I've done this." So I think that will hold good. Champaka, the options for the questions are given on the left-hand side. The options now are available are sadness, pride, frustration, fear, and joy. Okay. So you need to match these things with the emotions over there on the left. The next one will be becoming a great grandparent for the first time. What is it? Is it fear? Is it pride? Is it joy? So somebody becomes a great grandparent for the first time. What will they be experiencing? Okay, will it be pride or joy? Okay, Suresh says, okay, the answers have come. Okay, Sumati says joy, Tarni joy, Vasan joy, Suresh says pride, Champaka says joy, Ashok Madan says joy. The exact answer will be joy, but pride can also come in under certain circumstances when it is a between it becomes a comparison between two families. You know, like two people get married from the same family, and the challenge is who's going to have the first child. So then it becomes a question of pride rather than joy. Thank you for adding in new dimension. Okay, the next one, struggling to remember familiar names of places. The senior family suddenly they find they are not able to remember the name or place of or the places where they want to go or they forget. Okay, exactly. Sumati and Vasant and Tarni says it is frustration. You can really see it in their face, right? Good. Suresh says frustrations. Yes, Suresh. Now, this is the place where we need to understand what we need to do. I'll complete the next question. Um, Being told they need a surgery, you know, Champaka says fear and frustration. No, it will be mostly frustration. For this second question, what will be the answer? Being told they need to undergo a surgery. They have not been keeping well for quite some time, and the doctor has told you that you need to go for a surgery. Okay. So, what happens when you convey this message to your senior citizen at home? Sumati says fear, Tarni says sadness, Champaka says sadness and fear, Suresh says fear, Vasan says fear. Friends, you're right. It is fear. And Champaka, you probably may be right. Again, it differs from individual to individual and the family situations. So predominantly, it will be a fear what the senior citizen will be thinking about or experiencing. What happens when I undergo this operation. Because there is again a myth where people are told after 60, the chances of doing any operation and the productivity is very less. They'll not say yes or no, but they'll say it is very less. That is the challenge. So here I'd like to get your answers probably. What might someone feel this way in this situation? Okay, you have told the answer. Could there be other emotions too? Yes. Champaka and few others have been giving 2, 3 emotions. You probably may be right. Again, it depends on the individual. And I'm sure all of you would have seen people for whatever things happens, they'll be showing anger. Sometimes instead of frustration or depression or sadness, they will manifest in such a way that they express these emotions as a anger. They'll start shouting, they'll start throwing tantrums. Okay. I think one of you, somebody asked in the group about will not meeting expectation lead to depression? Sometimes depression can also be exhibited in a way of anger, right? So it is something which needs to be worked out on. So this is what I wanted to share. Uh, I've got another slide also on the same aging situations. If you're interested, we'll go ahead with this. I leave the option to you. Here I've got hope, loneliness, confusion, anger, and relief. If you want me to continue with this particular activity, you can type in a 1. We can go with this, or I've got various other activities which we can go through. Okay, Vasan says yes. I will go through this. Okay, so majority says 1. I'll go with the majority. Probably I'll go a bit fast in this round. Friends from their generation moving away or passing on. Like seniors always build up a relationship with their neighbors, with their friends. Okay. So they feel, what will they feel when their friends from their generation are moving away or passing on? When I say passing on, they're departing from this world. So whatever answer you say, okay, loneliness. Is it loneliness? Yes, you're right. It is loneliness. When somebody passes away, you have this feeling of loneliness. Thanks, Vasant and Sumanti and Champaka. We'll move to the next one. Learning to use a new smartphone or technology. What happens? Is it hope, loneliness, confusion, anger, or relief? This is a tricky question. Vasant says relief. Learning to use a new smartphone or technology. Okay, confused. Suresh says confusion. Now all of you know what could be the answer. I'll just go through the other questions. Hope, confusion, and relief. Champaka, you're giving a beautiful answer. Right. They have a hope that they can learn the new technology on the smartphone. That is the hope with which the seniors go start taking the mobile phone in their hand. And and once they start using it, initially there's a confusion, and provided they have a good person to teach them how to handle this, the confusion is sorted out and then learn and practice, by which they have a sense of relief. Yes, great, Champaka. You've gone in for the full cycle. Receiving good news about their health after a long rest. Doctor says you'll have to take this medicine. After 3 months, we'll see whether we need to go for the operation or it can be handled with the medicine. You go to the doctor after 3 months. Yes, Sumati, and the doctor says you don't have to go for the operation. And he also reduces the medicine. Yes, it is a relief. Thank God, right? You are relieved that you don't have to go for a surgery or for a continuous treatment or for some other ancillary support system like exercises. Okay. Losing the ability to drive and relying on others for transport. The seniors is driving their scooty to go to the shop or going for a walk, but now they feel they're not able to drive and they rely on others for transport. Somebody says anger. Yes, it is anger because they are frustrated and they are not able to handle the situation. Okay. joining a new senior community group or club. What does this talk about? Does it talk about hope, loneliness, confusion, anger, or relief? Yes, it is a hope and relief as well. Okay, why I say these two things is, if you look at the previous questions, what we asked, we were mostly dealing with depression, loneliness, all those kind of factors, which can be easily overcome. When they join a senior community or a group or a club, what happens is they have a routine setup and they start meeting people. And believe me, friends, interacting could be the solution, talking to people and keeping them engaged. So those things are overcome. So normally what happens is, when people look at these kind of communities, probably that can be one of the advantages being in a gated community or in an apartment or within a small compound or a campus, where you every day evening by 6 to 7 they meet up and chat. That is what happens, being engaged. Okay, now friends, you started knowing, you started understanding what these emotions are and how you could identify these emotions. Many of us, I'll not say all of us, but many of us have this challenge of meeting people, okay, who have these challenges. How do we handle them? So here I have got some 5 case studies with which we will close today. Uh, Probably you can unmute your mic. We can go in for a small debate. See, this is where we start learning. The more we share, the more we learn. Okay. See, for these kind of situations, there's no one right or one wrong answer. Again, it depends on the situation. We'll try to arrive at the best possible solutions. Here, I got a case study. Okay. An elderly man in a village, okay, in a small village, gets involved in local temple activities after retiring. Right? The situation is, a person is there and he retires after his job, tenure is over, and it takes some small role in the village temple. Okay, but begins to feel isolated when younger people stop attending. Okay, he feels that younger people have stopped attending the local temple activities. He feels that the younger generation needs to be attending more, right? This is a real life situation of an elderly person. The question here is for a reflection. Think for some time, take your time, and please answer the questions. How do you think he felt when he saw few people around him? Now, you know what emotions needs to be answered for this. There's no right or wrong answer. You're the master. You're the best person. We have done 10 questions where we were able to identify some emotions. It need not be within those 10 emotions. Can be anything else. Okay. Frustration. Sad. Yes. It's true. Okay. Rani says sad, Champaka says sad, Sumati says frustration. Yes. Suresh says frustration. So, the question now is, what would you you have done to stay connected to the community? If you were in that elderly person's place, what would you have done to stay connected with the community of the younger generation who are coming to the temple? It's a situation, friends. There are no right or wrong answer. Anything based on your experience can be shared as an answer. So what would you have done to stay connected to the community? Great, Suresh. Explain them about it, the importance of staying connected. Take an interested youngster as an assistant. Wonderful. See how brilliant we people are. Suresh says explain to the people directly. Champaka says take the interested youngsters as an assistant and have him to coordinate. Since you are experienced, you carry with you the kind of experience of building a team and getting works done. Sumati TK says, find creative ways to bring in the younger generation. Yes, you can do a lot of things in a temple, right? You can take the spiritual way, you can take the drama way, you can take the bhajans way, the singing way, you can talk about the body, you can talk about anything, right? The solution is all yours. See, we have got three good things. I think you people have started understanding the challenges faced by the seniors. You are able to immediately give the answers to these people. Friends, this is what we wanted as a message to be given to the community, how to handle senior citizens. Now you know, when somebody is there, how do we handle them? Some seniors there is facing a challenge. He is willing to get involved in the process of helping the society or takes a role to keep himself engaged. Now you know what you can do. Okay. The second case study. By the way, friends, Tarni in the group is my second daughter. Ashok Madan says, share best practices. Yes. Excellent, Madan. So you see, what we know, whatever profession we are from, whatever business we are from, whatever age group we are from, we are always able to contribute to the betterment of the society to help the senior citizens. Great. By the way, the person Tarni is my second daughter. She is just moved to grade 10, and she is the one who prepared these slides for me today. I was held up with some other official work. Last 2 days I was not available. And thanks, Tarni. Thanks, Suresh. So right now itself, I've started engaging them in this kind of value-driven things. So we also do programs for school children, how they can be a better person with their grandparents at home, where we bond the current generation with the earlier generation. Thanks, Vasant. Okay, the second scenario here, we have got a picture over here, a lonely lady. Okay, the case study goes like this. A 75-year-old woman who has lived in the same house for decades, probably right from the day she is married, for at least 40, 45 years, she has been in the same family. For decades, is asked to move to her son's apartment in the city. Okay, to her son's apartment in the city, but feels uneasy and out of place in the new environment. You know, like traditional house, the families are built up over there, and you know, nowadays people, the younger generation start moving to bigger cities. Sometimes they even fly out of the country, and they want to take the parents along with them. Friends, I've seen many people who want to be here in their own place where they were born. Now, the situation is the elderly person needs somebody to take care of her, and she is forced to move along with the son to the apartment. Believe here, the son is good. He takes care of the mother very well. Okay. So the question here is, how do you think she felt about leaving the home where uh, she has been there for decades, at least 40 to 50 years? Put yourself in that situation. What would happen? What would the person feel? Sad? Okay, adjust, more to adjust due to her old age. What is the feeling? What is the thinking? Okay, right? Sadness, very sad and bad. Excellent, Champaka. Very sad. You know, like 45 years, right? Being attached to a house, you know, it is part of you and you are part of that. Okay, Suresh says unbearable pain. Thanks, Suresh. Now we understand when we tell what happens when we tell our elderly parents to move from one place to another. This is what the kind of pressure they undergo through. Would be sad, but that is the reality. We need to undergo it. Friends, I live in Coimbatore. This happened in my own family. Right now, my mother is around 77. Around 12 years back, we wanted to move from our ancestral place to a new place. That has been our ancestral place, the place where we have been there for 3 generations. And believe me, friends, at that time I didn't know about it. 12 years back, I didn't know about what was happening. But I just wanted to move to a new place, new house. But my mother was very reluctant to move from there. All she used to say is, no, நான் இங்கதான் இருப்பேன். She was, when she says இங்கதான் இருப்பேன், it was not in this tone she spoke. She spoke with so much of gut determination, and she used to raise her voice. She used to become tensed. At that time, I didn't know. My mom is normally a soft-spoken person, but when I said we want to shift the house, the kind of energy she got from within was something tremendous, which I identified to. This was a natural process. It was more to her property, because that is the house which she has grown up uh, when she was a kid, and that is the house which we moved after her marriage, right? So all those kind of things, her mother's house, that was something which she held close to her heart, because it was her mother's gift to her as a property. Now we understand what it is. Now, what can we do in this situation? What could help her feel more at home in the new place? Ashok says, attachment, all emotional, we lived. Yes. Vasant has said, would be said, but it's realistic. So, what you could do to a senior citizen, probably could be your aunt, uncle, or your relative, or anybody in your family who is supposed to move. So, what could help her feel more at home in the new place? What would make this elderly person to be new? Okay, take suggestions. Right now, when we don't have an idea, we can take suggestions from nearby people. Champaka says, get her some friends of her age, living close by. Wonderful. Build in a supporting community of having new people around them who are in the same age group. Create a same surrounding. Great. Champaka and Tarni, you have got the crux. Create a similar kind of an atmosphere, or probably with the kind of news, with the technology, probably put her on a video call to some of her relatives of close friends who were with her in the current, in a old place. Get them connected. So make them feel connected with the earlier place. Things could be there. Probably a week or 10 days would settle her down in the new place. Tell the possible new connections. Yes. Great, Sumati. Wonderful, friends. You're giving so much of ideas. I think from now onwards, whenever you see some elderly person, you will have the capacity to handle them, whatever emotions or feeling. Understand what the possible uh, situations are, then we can give them the solution. Make her more involved in family matters. Yes, you as family members can spend more time with the lunch, dinner, breakfast, evening, spending some time together. If she has got the grandchildren, make them play together, get them involved in some process. Wonderful ideas. Okay, the next one, probably a tougher one. Okay. After losing her husband, we are talking about a widow. Okay. After losing her husband, a widow in a rural town begins attending a widow support group. Okay, where she shares her grief and finds solace in other women's stories. Right. So, previous situation, we had some answers where you said support system, right? Similar kind of community. Now she's going to a community and she finds solace in other women's stories. So here, when we talk about a support group, it means people there are with the same challenges they are facing. Okay, so the reflection question: how do you think she felt after joining the group? Now this thing is something different. How do you think she felt after joining the group? So you need not think. Okay, relief. Great, Sumati. You do not think widow support group. It can be any support group. Okay. So what do you think she felt after joining the group? She felt relief. Yes. That is one of the biggest things what you can do to a elderly person. You can bring in great relief in their life. A sense of belonging as she gets more friends. Yes, Champaka. Great. Wonderful. Now the question is, How would you have reacted to this situation? Great, Suresh, Katie. That's true. We want her to divert the situation. Yes, to divert her loss, to move her out of that situation. You know, um, in Indian culture, we have this process of grief, right? When somebody dies, we have this traditional system: first day, third day, fifth day, seventh day, ninth, 11th, 13th, 15th, and of course, we do the 16th day. Some traditions they go in for even 30 days. Some traditions they even go in for a 1 year where they meet every month, right? So what happens? See, all those things are part of the grieving process. India is known for the grief relief system, where they have a traditional method of doing that songs where they cry. In Tamil, we used to call it as opari. A group of people join together, they hold hands, they grieve along with the family members, they sing songs, you know, these kind of things happen. So the next one, simple one. This situation we have already seen. It is a younger kid handling a elderly person in the family. A senior citizen from Chennai feels overwhelmed by the new technology that his children try to teach him, including social media, online banking, and mobile apps. Vasant says, will it be negative? No, Vasant, it will not be negative because the
No,
situation is,
no,
yes,
my answer was for the previous widow
yeah, yes,
question.
yes. I understood. It will not be negative, Vasant, because already the incident has happened. The negative incident has happened. The question now is uh, whether the person will feel bad when you take them to a support system. That is the only question which we need to ask. So that is why I said we have this grieving system where the person is not left alone, and most of the grief is taken out within the first 15 days or 30 days in the Indian traditional system. But nowadays, the family members, most of them are not in the same house or in the same family. Now, what has happened is the rituals have started coming down. Uh, what is supposed to happen over a period of 15 or 16 days, it is all done in 1 day. So then the grieving system is not happening. All the family members who assemble will be there for 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. After that, that person is left alone. That is when they need to have a support system.
But in this particular case, it was finding solace with others' misery.
No. Not finding solace with others' misery. The if you finding solace in other women's stories. See, okay. I got what angle you're coming from. So normally we in business terms we call it as customer feedback or customer success stories. When we go to a customer or when we onboard somebody as a new customer, what do? We talk about a success story. Sir, this customer had a similar situation, and this customer we gave this kind of a solution, and from then onward, their sales started increasing by 20%. Right? So here, what happens is when somebody new comes into the group, what they normally say is they comfort her and they say, I came here 2 months back. I also had the same kind of a challenge, and I did these things and I came regularly here, and the people here were wonderful. They took care of my emotions, and I came out of it. Here we are talking about the success story of the people who are present there, how this support system works, and not about their grieving process. So what would happen is, by the time of say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they would have come out of the grief in the support system, and this person finds hope in the stories of the people when they say, I was also one day like you, but see, we are come out of it. You also will overcome these challenges. We are here to support you. Wasn't that was a very beautiful question. See, it opens doors of in-depthness into the process, whole process on grief alone, how to handle grief in elderly people. See, since you have taken up this topic, um, in the Indian tradition, people say, uh, like only the son should put fire to the parents. Okay, and the parents should not put fire to the son or daughter's body. That there is a common saying. A lot of things are there in the Indian system which works as a support system to a lot of these elders. We have started missing this because of the new age people. No, I'll not say not everybody, but certain families have started losing these traditions. Thanks, Vasant, again for this wonderful question. So this mobile app, yes. How do you think he feels about learning these new skills? We have already seen this frustration, dejection, uh, emotional challenges. What is this? This is not my cup of tea. But of course, what you can do is you need to have that patience and time, and you can take in that kind of support system for him, where you teach him one app a day, allow him to do mistakes, be with him for 3 or 4 days. Friends, for that instance, I take support for my daughters with the new technologies. I'm still not comfortable with the new age technologies. I take support from my daughters. Yes. And Sumati TK says, it is sharing emotions with the understanding group. Yes. Joy. Teach patiently to them. Suresh, I am seeing your message. புலிக்கு பிறந்தது. This background, like I started teaching them right from this younger age. Appreciate and praise them for small learnings. Wonderful, Champaka. Appreciate and praise them for small learnings. That is wonderful. Little steps are very important. And believe me, friends, we have already seen this topic of the second childhood, the second innings of elders, like uh, how people are born and how they evolve into small kids, same thing happens, like seniors, no? And the last one for the day, a 70-year-old man who lives with his son, attention to him as they get busier with their own lives. This, Ashok, I missed your comment, Ashok. Ashok says, feel confident. Yes, it makes them to feel confident. And like their mind is also kept free, their brain starts functioning, and they are able to communicate with people, and they're able to get connected. So this person in Delhi, okay, he feels like a burden to, after his children start paying less attention to him as they get busier with their own lives. Friends, again, we are talking about attention. So what is the feeling he's got? We have seen 2, 3 similar examples. The why he feels as a burden is because his son or daughters are neglecting him. We are giving less attention to him. Again, the question is around less attention, because practically speaking, they are busy with their own life, their own children. Okay, how do you think he felt when his family became more distant? Sad, useless, frustration? Yes. Champaka and Sumati, probably this could what will happen. What would have helped him feel valued and important? Suresh is very sad and fearful. Yes, Suresh. Like I did this program in-house with a group of apartment people. These case studies, like 3 of them started crying. Like that is when we start realizing what we have done. It is not out of negligence. It's not purposefully are doing it. It's only out of negligence. We have not paid attention to. We didn't know that they'll be going through these kind of situations, because seniors don't, most of them, they don't open their mouth and tell what is happening to them. Align with situations with family. Thanks, Ashok. So what would have helped him feel valued and important? Probably spending time with them. Yes, aligning him, listening to them. Wonderful, Sumati, listening to them. Fine. Friends, It is something nice. I feel very happy today, no? Like, even though the number of participants are less, I think we have done something meaningful and we have learned something wonderful today. Champaka says spending some time with him on daily basis, talking to, taking him to friends of his age, inviting his friends home. Wonderful, 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 Champaka. See, we have solutions with this. Only thing is we need to just make them to open their mind and start speaking out what they are feeling and what they experience. That would have that would make a sea of change of differences to them. Okay, this is so friends. So this is what we had planned for the day, and so I had 5 activities. We had the myths round one, second the real life case studies. Then we have the reflection journaling, which goes for more of your personal work, and I had the mini role play scenarios. Those two were the activities, and we had the aging situation, and so we are done. We have two more modules, short modules pending, which we will take up in the next session. And as we close, I would like you to just think as a standard format: start, stop, and continue. What would you like to start doing now, since you have gone through these sessions today? What would you like to stop doing, and what would you like to continue doing? So I just like to get some answers for this. Okay, only if we do help elders that we'll get it back, sir. Only if we do help others we'll get it back, sir. Elders, what is happening is we are doing a role modeling to our children and our younger generation. They also start understanding that taking care of the elders is part and parcel of the right and duties of a grown-up adult, right? I still remember my grandparents, how they helped me when I was small, how they took care of me and my parents, what role they played. And right now, it is me giving back to the society. When I say giving back to the society, it also includes my mother at my home. Okay, my dad passed away when I was in just out of college. Then it has been a lonely journey for her, right? Good. Vasant says life is a cycle. We need to understand that, Vasant. And we have understood. All the people here, we have understood what we are doing and what is happening, right? And I'm very happy for another instance also, because uh, this session is something which I planned to go in depth. I was not focused on completing this session today itself, because I had designed in such a way that we improved our knowledge. And this is part of our course curriculum, which we will be doing as a 3-day in-person program for people who want to better understand the senior citizens and how to handle them. Madan says, be positive with situations. Yes, Madan, you're absolutely right. So, friends, today you are empowered yourself to handle senior people. The first activity was breaking the myths. It is not what the press or the media says. It probably might be applying to certain culture or certain section of people, but not to everybody. That is what we saw about the myths and the fact. The second, we were able to understand and match the emotions which the person undergoes in certain situations, so that we can be more powerful to understand the seniors and the emotional situations. And the third activity was the life stories. We understood the situation and we started naming and labeling the emotions the people felt. The second reflection question was what we as an individual can do to help them. So if these seniors were around to be a better person and to lead a more happy and softly. So this is what we have done, and start, stop, and continue closes the session here with us today. And stopping my sharing over here. And thanks for the beautiful questions what you people started putting in today. It was something which was amazing. And if any one of you who are present here has not joined our Stay Active community, please click on the link which I put in the chat box and join us in the WhatsApp group. So the next week it might be me or Akash who will be joining the session, who will be handling the session. Akash is the co-founder of Stay Active Movement 4075 Kovai. In short, we call it as the SAM 4075 Kovai. Any questions? I'm open. I'm here.